Well, howdy, Internet people. Someone else is line in. Okay, we'll get back to the other one. What's going on, my fellow zombies? Are we emotionally screwed up and sleep deprived, or are we sleep screwed up and emotionally deprived? Yeah, I'm going to have to keep on this particular camera over here because the other ones suck, and I was trying to explain in my other video, it's technical difficulties trying to manage. Still Tuesday, August 1st, 2023. It's about 15 after 8 in the evening, Pacific Standard Time. It's mellowed out outside regarding the temperature, so finally got the living room window open with some breeze going through it. Feels so nice. Compared to the other cities that are roasting and melting like crazy, I consider this paradise for right now. Alright. Previous video I was talking about what I was watching on YouTube. Progressive media, especially one particular comedian's going after, and he's got a constant thing going on with this bastard. And other people like him who are preaching the word of God, and the characterization concerning about a grifter preacher of my own version of it. Yeah, that sucks, but yeah. Again, apologize about the lighting if you can't see me very much. The living room light on does much. I got the kitchen light on. I haven't got this light on because it's hard as hell to get that damn thing working. So the bulb's burned out, so I gotta take care of that bit. And meanwhile, I'm just dealing and hanging and coping. I'm trying to figure out all this other political crap going on. Some of the wind files that have already landed in there. I've already been talking about Trump and his mouth and everything else going on. So check them out when you can. When you see the win, I'm getting too damn lazy. But there's some personal information or other information I just hadn't gotten to putting them into publications. Okay, 2 more weeks before college hits again, fall term. Looking forward to it, and I'm trying to get myself really going for this one because I remember years ago, before my brother passed, and so that rarely see it. But if you haven't seen the other videos I've got, the other clearer pictures, you would see the cat all the time. So this is the picture, and this is the camera. On that one. But yeah, started in school a little after my brother did. He couldn't complete it. He had a heart attack. He couldn't do it. So I've been doing it for years, and I still love it. But I'll tell you something. Before he passed away, I had the enthusiasm a great deal, and after he passed away, it's been fighting it left and right. So yeah, here we go. Diary of the Griever named John Weaver, which would be me. Make that official. School is adventure in itself. Of course, when you're a kid going through it, it's not an adventure. It's just a normal thing that you had to go through. Kindergarten, or actually preschool, then kindergarten, then going through 1 through 12, going through life struggles, going through hormonal changes, going through mental health changes, going through physical changes, going through changes, period, until you get to the point where you're legal age and you're still emotionally and mentally screwed up at this point over here. You get handed a ceremonial kick out of the educational system, either the public or private. So now you're on your own. What do you do? Well, for some people, if they've actually been starting off part-time jobs, they'll probably continue it because they need the work, they need the money, they need to pay for things, transportation, rent, anything and everything else, save for college. Okay. And some of them will actually be qualified for it and head right into it. If they saved enough money or got it from other sources or even qualified for grants or loans, mostly, they'll be heading right into the college area. Whatever college that they're going through. The lowest level, which is the community level, and the highest level is the university, the big highfalutin ones. I'm at the bottom of the ladder. I don't care. I'm stepping up there. They're going to get their major degrees. They're going to be in debt for life. And me, I've already had enough for life. I'm 57 years old, so I don't mind. Community college. Maybe I could have gone to Yale if I had scored high enough, or been something like that, or Stanford for that matter. UCLA, USC. When I got to the Cal State programs, the intermediaries before you go up to the higher level, but they're still okay. You still get your BAs and your MAs through those guys. So I suppose I'm going to be just trying to finish out the community college and see what the hell happens afterwards. Am I going to be going through something that will be utilizing my school? No, I'm just learning stuff. I'm trying to have fun in schools. I didn't have that when I was a kid. There was nothing fun about going through school. There was nothing fun about waking up all the time, Monday through Friday, getting your ass going to school, rush into breakfast, walk up to the school. Either you get into fights or you don't get into fights with kids. You listen to what the instructors are telling you left and right, on breaks. Either you hang out with friends or you get into another fight. Or you're just left alone. In elementary, you get into fights. That's what I got myself into. I moved from one neighborhood, from elementary school, to another elementary school, and I get to deal with racism the hard way. Yeah, and I learned how to hate, and I learned how to fight again. Hated that. Right to school rules. Did get called up to the principal a lot often, but little tiffs here and a little tiff there. So yeah, I didn't like my classmates. My classmates didn't like me, and I wasn't antagonizing these guys. I was staying the hell away from them. I was. Nothing wrong with my masculinity. Some kid tried to break my G.I. Joe, and I broke his nose on church property. How's that for christening? Don't touch a G.I. Joe. Don't break him in half. I break you in half. Junior high, different element. I had to deal with a few other people that didn't like me as much, but they just, I don't know what their major malfunction was. They stayed out of people's way. And I got made fun of all the damn time, one way or another. Condescending, patronizing, like were they friends or were they just patronizing this poor schmuck? I don't know. I never could quite figure the damn thing out myself. I don't know whatever happened to the guys anyway. It's a long time ago that I ran into them, years ago. So they may have not been something else for these days. I hope they're alright. Lost all the yearbooks too. I hated that. But there was nothing wrong with my masculinity during that time. I just stayed the hell away from trouble. Except when it came down for video games, and I got in trouble with my family. They don't pilfer the family's piggy bank. Especially when I had Susan B. Anthony in it. I heard my mother so much. Oh, I got grieved on that one. Oh, let's just say, don't piss off a mother. Especially your own. Okay, so what we got? High school. Stay out of people's way. Just do your own thing. Hang out with a bunch of nerds and geeks. Or also alienated from the other geeks and nerds. I don't know, something about us. Something about my group I was with. And getting out. Get used to the routine of Monday through Friday, Monday through Friday, Monday through Friday, Monday through Friday. You get a holiday? Yay! Extra homework. Ew. You got a test today afterwards. What? And you get college system. Finally get the money put into the college, you're going through the damn paperwork. Oh yeah, these days I know. It's easy enough when you get a computer screen and you're on the damn thing or on the phone and you're in. Fine, I'm in. Now what? Then you got to get the books. See the amount of books that they want you to get and how much they are, because they want you to get them out of the damn bookstore. You see the price, you're like, go to the board outside of the bookstore where all the used books are and see if you can find that one. If you can, fine. If not, well, there's always Googling it. There's always Amazon. There's always a few other used bookstores. You always do the ebook. As long as your eyes are not fried out, you're not getting a headache from all that staring at a computer screen all the damn time and fry your eyeballs out. I don't know how that feels. Too much Tylenol in that one, and too much eye problems. Go see an eye doctor to get eyeglasses. How about that one? Especially for the computers. You're going to be staring at a screen that long. Sometimes you have to wean yourself away from the screen, look at something here for another few more minutes, get your eyes readjusted again, see something far away. In this particular complex here, well, how about we do the apartment room here? Okay, far end. I see the blinds, dirty as hell. I see darkness outside. And there's wind blowing because I see one of the leads for the line waving back and forth. Can't see things specifically except maybe for a sign that says a garage sale on my campus in the next couple of weeks on a Saturday. If I got junk to sell, you can sell it on that day. Thank you. Okay, back to the computer screen, and here comes the strain on the eyes. But imagine having paperwork. Imagine having paperwork and running to and from. You find out where the place where getting yourself registered at. Okay, fine. One place on this one campus I went to back in '85. Pierce College, San Fernando Valley. I suppose people back then do not understand what the hell I'm talking about, especially if they went to Pierce or even with the LA Valley College. Two good colleges for the community colleges. I just hadn't bothered to go over to LA Valley College. I went to Pierce College, and then I went to Pierce College for about a couple of years, but I didn't take it seriously enough. I think I talked about this one before in my other videos. This one. But the process that we had back then, it was a hell of a lot different and a lot more difficult than what you guys got here. These guys have it easy. Come on. You're technological whiz kids out here dealing with technology. It should be, it should be something to do with it and you're done. No, we had to use feet power. We had to go from building to building to building to get the paperwork. And literally there was paperwork. Try this one. Okay, we signed up for the administration. We paid for the administration costs to get in. But now we got to pay for the damn classes. But we have to fill out the paperwork for to get into administration. So once we got that paperwork, then we go for the classes. And we had to go from one end of the campus to the other end of the campus. And it's a big, huge student area where we had a huge corkboard of sorts of classes of numbers on them. You would have a catalog that thick. You use that out. Literally. To go through the classes, to go through the class numbers, to go through the times and dates and everything else in there. You would find your book assignments in there. What you needed for it. You'd have everything else you needed in that. But you had to make sure that you were going to be picking the card out, picking the class out, making sure the damn thing wasn't filled up or not, because you had people running back and forth, filling up this big, huge corkboard with all the information posted on it, and seeing if it's been closed or not. And you're hoping and praying it wasn't, or else you can get into a waiting list with paperwork. And once you got that filled out, once you got the paperwork filled out, and then you got to make sure that you're going to be able to get to the classroom. I mean, you already paid your admission fee already. So now you're in for the game. You're going to be in classes. Now you got to go to another financial aid office and fill out the paperwork. They ain't paying them money either. They call it the business office. But they also did the financial aid over there. So you pay them. You pay them a cash, you pay them a check, you pay them a credit card. I didn't have a credit card. I had green. And it was still expensive back then, even during those times. I had to save. And I borrowed some from her. Which meant I owed her a great deal. And if I did good at my grades, I'd be able to pay her back one way or another. I paid her back another way. But you go to the financial aid office, you pay them in, and then, the last but not least, you go for bookstore. Now, you're talking about insanity over here. Where's the book? Where's the book? Where's the book? You got all the new books gone. Now you gotta go for the used books, or see if anybody else is selling a damn book during those days. And you would have to hold off with the instructor for a while until they had more books being put into the bookstore. You see, back then we didn't have Amazon. We didn't have any other places that you could go to get the books necessary. It had to be at the damn bookstore. It had to be. There was no other place you were going to get the damn stuff. And then after you get it, then maybe you breathe a sigh of relief, and then about a week or two later, you're in class. There's the fun part right there. You're looking at the class map. You're looking at the campus map at this point over here. And if you're driving over there, your tires and your suspensions are going to be gone at the end of the semester. Oh. If you're taking a bus, it's a different story altogether. Your backpack is killing your back. You didn't have those kind of bars that would come up for the back, and you have rollers on them, and you'd be able to roll your backpack. They didn't have that crap. Are you kidding me? We all had to have strong backs during that time. 3 or 4 books, maybe heavy, for one day. One day. Left them up, left them down. Left them up, left them down. If you're lucky enough, you actually had room for a tape recorder. The portable cassette recorders worked better. Sometimes the micro cassettes worked even more better. Smaller, lighter, and you can fit about maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours or 3 hours worth of notes, depending what kind of tape that you got. Of course, you had to constantly get a lot of tapes and label the damn things because those were your notes. Classes would be about nearly an hour, 40 minutes. So you're listening to the professor talking about the topic, and you're writing stuff down on a piece of paper. Not to mention in your stuff that you brought over with you, you have either the green books or the blue books. They're still composition books. Now, back in probably in junior high and high school, you did do composition books on some occasions. Either they're lined or they got graphs in them. The graphs in them are supposed to be for the sciences, and then the lines are for the composition. And also in college, we had to have those kind of books too for writing stuff in. But we also had the usual spiral notebooks, binders, huge binders some students would have, and shove their information in there. Did the same thing in high school, so why not? The thing would work, wouldn't it? Would it? Of course, you would have to type out your reports on manual typewriters, or IBM Selectrics if you can get a hold of one, and then get your work done that way. They were coming out during those days of the screens, electronic screens that you can back up and type stuff out. Sometimes you had to flip up and you had a LED here, or something similar to that effect, and you're seeing the stuff on here. Mini computer screens. More expensive, but they work. Or sometimes you see the screen on top of mounted on the typewriter itself. Not flipped, but just mounted on there that you can actually see it. Big, huge monster to carry around, I'll tell you that much. Did the typing at home. And then I brought them over and then wait for the professor to tear it apart left and right. The days of going back to college in those days. Paperwork ruled. They had the computers, but in different areas. If you were doing computer science, you'd be able to plug into them. If you didn't have computer science, well, you weren't going to use it. They wouldn't have the computers back then in the library. They had IBM Selectrics, manual typewriters. Unless you already brought your own electric typewriter from home, you brought it in a car, that's one thing, but on a bus, those damn things are heavier than hell, and you couldn't even put them in a backpack. Those are monsters. Oh yeah, the fun days of going over to the books to get photocopies left and right. Of course, we couldn't do it the way we have with smartphones. Just click, 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 click. Okay, got the chapter here. Let's get another chapter. Click, 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 click. Oh no. How much rolls or quarters or dimes did you have to pay for a photocopying machine? You get selected areas to get stuff for research, or you have to check the books out, get the report done within 2 weeks before you get overdue by the library. And they did keep track of this stuff. Especially when it came down for getting past the semester. I'm sorry, you can't get past the semester. Why? Because you owe so much money for the books that you hadn't returned back yet. We want the books, we want the money. Yeah, fun days on those kind of things. They still do it these days. But that's why with these days, I take a camera phone, I use the camera option on it, and I click, 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 right across the books. Have your pages, okay. Days like those. I like the days we have to deal with these days. Electronic age, trying to make it so simple and more complicated. They come up with these different menu options in different formats. They used to one format 1 year or 2 years, and then they changed it to another one. They're like, they had one system out there that everyone else was using, and then they switched over to another system just to keep track of homework, just to keep track of professors' notes and everything else that you needed. I got into the computer age at odd times. I got out of college. I couldn't cut it. I wasn't mature enough. I wasn't giving it my all, and I definitely wasn't. I didn't have my heart into it. I didn't understand. I didn't have perspective, context, or anything except Mom to keep pushing me out of the damn thing, and I had to keep going for it. But it wasn't for me. It really wasn't for me, and I wish it was, but it wasn't. If it was for me back then, there would have been a lot of different things changed. There would have been a great deal changed. And I have been trying to get that modified for a hell of a long while. I don't know. I've been trying. But some days are a pain in the ass, and that's what I've been dealing with. This is pain in the ass days. I wish I had been better at it. Hadn't been. If I had, maybe things would have been a lot better and different, and I wouldn't have struggled like crazy. I have been struggling like crazy. I just wasn't quite sure how the hell to do things, that's all. And I'm still having those kind of issues. I look at myself in the mirror, and sometimes I'm wondering, Am I doing it right? Honest to God, am I doing it right? And quite frankly, I have to ask myself again, how am I not doing it right? How do I have to change this damn shit? My language. But things happen. Things happen. What I'm looking at right now is I'm looking at, yeah, I'm looking at different things right now. Just shuffling things around so I can keep a track and get the downloads when I'm ready for it. I'm setting myself up to transfer it over to the Flash. But I just couldn't deal with the, the other one I was trying to get political, and the other one I was trying to talk about other things. But this one, I was just trying to get through the college experience. Most of the time, I would have been jumping and being nervous and rattling my cage off left and right, trying to get back into college. But I'll tell you something: after David died, well, that's when the struggles were. I'd taken time off, and I had to struggle some more on it. I can't help it; things happen. But that's all I can do is to struggle at it. I don't know what people expect of me at this point over here, and I really, right now, just not into it. A couple of weeks, I'll be walking on the campus. A couple of weeks, I'll be looking at the campus. In a couple of weeks, I'll be seeing the new buildings that they've already been built within the past 2 years, 2 to 3 years. More changes to the campus confuse the living crap out of me. Hoping that they got the cafeteria working so I can get a good meal out of it. I can only deal with Subway for so long. It's expensive as hell on it. And I still couldn't deal with damn stuff. But I'm dealing. I just hope this time I'm actually going to be able to push myself through it and actually graduate. I'm trying not to forecast whether or not, if I'm actually going to be able to get out there or not. Hopefully when I do get graduated, and there's no danger as of yet that I'm going not to graduate. I just need a few other classes that I still need to take care of so I can get it going. And when I do, I know the question is what then. I'll run into it when I have to. Right now, I'm still trying to take care of it a day at a time, a moment at a time, sometimes a second at a time. And still struggle. I guess that's all I can do. And with that, I'll end the boredom.